Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Today what I want to talk about is the signs of cancer. What are the signs of cancer? And obviously I know, especially for my particular cancer, what the signs are. So bear with me. Now, as you see, I'm in a particularly different place today. It's an old dried up riverbed. It doesn't really, well, I mean, we haven't had enough rain this year. This is in the middle of nowhere again. There is a road to the right hand side of me. You may hear some people beeping because, I don't know, maybe people commit suicide here or something, I'm not sure, but I'm not doing that today. Now, signs of cancer. It's quite a difficult one really, because there's no real, in the beginning, there's no real specific sign for cancer. You know, I mean, once you go back and think about it, you'll probably see, oh, actually, no, there were signs. You know, there was a lot of things wrong with me. For me, I have a very rare Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I only treat a few a year. So the signs were a little different to what they would be for, say, I don't know, bladder or colon or liver or something like that, or lung cancer. That said, you do get ill in the same way because, oops, sorry, because what happens is, oh, you'll notice I've got a bandage. I fell off my motorbike last night. Oh, talk about that another time. You know, that said, the illness is, what happens is you start to get ill. You know, for me, for instance, my signs were, in the beginning, I was getting chest infections, I was getting stomach aches, I was getting a lot of chest infections and breathing problems more than anything, to be honest. And that was more, and it was really weird because it didn't really make sense. You know, I was getting colds, coughs, flus. It was all respiratory more than anything. Now, as you dive a little bit more into it, it does sort of make sense, really. And when you study about it a bit more, it makes a bit more sense. So for me, it started like that. As time went on, because obviously a working man, big bad Jace, all the rest of it, didn't ever go to the doctors, never had time for the doctors, always working or always doing something or in the gym or whatever. Even when I was ill, I tried to go to the gym. Now, my problem is because I needed more energy, because I started to feel tired and I needed more energy. And now I think back, I was drinking energy drinks. Now that's something I would never advise anybody to do anyway, because all that was doing is, you know, giving me energy from a can of sugar. I've scanned in there. Me and my son built this little rock tower nearly 12 months ago. Oh dear. So I was drinking cans of energy drink. I was eating Mars bars. I was eating a hell of a lot of McDonald's and rubbish. And it was sort of an addiction, I know, but it was, I think it was feeding what was progressing. I mean, obviously I don't do it now. I mean, the most sugary thing I have now is probably a pear or a banana. So I was feeding my cancer and I didn't even know. Now, when I went to the doctors, I kept going to the doctors and they kept on saying, oh, you'll be fine. Here's a course of tablets for the infection or the virus. Come and see us in 2 weeks when you've finished. And that happened quite a few times. And, you know, it was happening more often than what it should, in my opinion. I mean, that suggests you've got some sort of low immune system. If you're getting ill like that all the time, there's something wrong. Now, don't get me wrong. I've had pneumonia twice. I was on holiday many years ago, actually when my son was a baby, so 14 years ago, and I got struck down with severe bronchial pneumonia, and I was in hospital in Tenerife for over a week, and then came back home. It carried on working, and I had to have more time off. Now, actually, as a few years went by, I had pneumonia again, only a mild form, but it was pneumonia. But I don't think that was anything to do with it, because that was too far behind. But what I was thinking is, because I've got weak lungs or scarred lungs from the pneumonia, because what happens is when you've got pneumonia, coughing, spluttering, your lungs scar inside. So I was thinking, or the doctors were telling me, that it's probably because you've got weak lungs. Now, what else was happening is I was getting very tired to the point where, you know, I was feeding myself full of energy drinks and stuff like that to keep myself awake and alert to carry on working. You know, in this new environment we all live in these days, in the UK, America, and all the other vibrant countries that have got a rising economy, we're all flat out working. We live to work, you know, and I live in Spain now and I work to live, if that makes sense. I'm not bothered about money and materialistic things. For instance, came off my bike last night. It's damaged, but it's working. It's my pride and joy, but who cares? You know, I'm okay. So being tired all the time was a massive contributing factor. Now, I wouldn't say that if people are feeling tired, you know, go to the doctors and get yourself checked out. If you feel there's something not quite right, 100% go to the doctors. I mean, don't mess about. These days, there's so many people, you know, being diagnosed with cancer. There's so many people that you know, are dying from cancer because of not being diagnosed or having the wrong diagnosis. You know, there's so many things that are happening that shouldn't be happening. So for me, I would say, if you're feeling tired, and it's quite a constant thing, yeah, go to the doctors, 100%. Get the very first thing you want to be asking them to do is take your bloods. You know, there's a specific blood count that they take. There's specific bloods that they take for checking for cancer, and I think not enough. You know, I can't blame the GPs. My GP was bloody amazing. She was just in my opinion, the woman's a god, because I'm still here. If it wasn't for her, I'd still be pushed. Well, I'd be dead. It wasn't for her back in the day, I'd still be pushed around from doctor surgery to doctor surgery. But you know, she saved me. That said, I think if people can ask for something, you know, like, can I have my bloods done to check to see if I've got any type of cancer? It's a scary word. Nobody wants to say that sort of word. It's really frightening. It's actually really frightening when you've been diagnosed. But actually, if you ask the word and speak the word to a doctor and prevent, if you like, or make sure, if you like, it's got to be good. You know, don't be afraid to say the word to a doctor. We all have a headache. You know, I've got a headache today. You know, I had dizzy spells in the night. I think that's a bit of concussion. I hope and pray it is. If it isn't, I've got to go to the doctors. But we all have different things. And I think if we're not afraid to say that word to a doctor, can you check me for cancer? Can you have my bloods checked for cancer? It's going to make a hell of a difference to people. Now, the other signs of my cancer, which is quite it's quite prominent in all or most lymphomas, Hodgkin's lymphomas, non and Hodgkin's. So my signs were obviously very, very tired and very weak. Actually, I was scratching my legs from my waist down, and in the end they looked like a couple of scabs from my waist all the way down to my ankles. They were really, really itchy to the point you take all your skin off and it just looks like one whole scab. And that was a big one. That was a big sign. And another one is you'll generally see a lump somewhere that doesn't. It's not normal. You know, for instance, my consultants could see a lump in my neck. I couldn't see it, but they could straight away. You know, is there something unusual that you haven't seen before? I mean, don't look at a freckle and think, that's it, I'm dying, I've got skin cancer. Obviously, look at a freckle. If it's a dark colour and it's not right, go and get it checked out. You know, if you've got a lump somewhere or some sort of growth somewhere and it's not normally there, or there's something wrong, or it's not quite right, or it's sore, or it's itchy, go and get it checked out. There's no point messing about these days. I think if there's more people that go to the doctors and speak that word or say that word, cancer, I think one day we will conquer it. I think people like me, people like the Facebook group friends that I've got, who are all, I mean, they're not doing blogs like me, they're not doing vlogs like me, they're all, you know, just all talking amongst themselves. And I think if we all teach people to go and get, you know, go and get advice from doctors' surgeries and things like that, it's going to prevent it a lot quicker, and it won't be so late where you've got to have chemotherapy like we have. You know, we're here to help you in a sense, I suppose. You know, we're here to advise you to do something, I suppose. So, you know, the signs of mine were really itchy legs, unusual lumps, and ridiculously tired to the point where I just couldn't get up. Couldn't get up at all. I was so ill. Now, when you get to a certain stage in your cancer, your body refuses food. It rejects it. It won't have it. It won't even let you put it to your mouth because you've got no energy to be able to put it to your mouth or even chew. So that's the other one. I mean, that's a later stage. That's quite late on. You know, you're going into sort of late 3 to 4 then, or you're in 3 going towards late 3 stage, that is. So, and then water as well. You know, what's happening is your body, your tumour or your cancer, if you like, I am covered in the damn things. I've got 150 of, well, 149 now. There was one took out around about there. All my lymph nodes, my whole lymphatic system is full of it. So for me, you know, it starts taking over. What happens is when cancer can't get any food, it takes it from your muscles. It takes the energy from your body. And we've all seen those pictures and those videos online of, you know, the biggest bodybuilder in the world and he looks like some sort of Ethiopian. That's exactly what it does. You know, I was there. I was exactly that person. I was very ill in a bed for a long time and in hospital, you know. You know, that's you know, that was end of life for me, but you know, I fought it and I've got here today. But you know, the signs are itchiness, soreness, lumps, something that you never see normally, something that's not really there, something that's not quite right. Go and get it checked out. But the first thing I advise is, please, can you check my bloods? Why do you want me to check your bloods? I want to just make sure that there's no sign of cancer in my bloods. And that's, you know, that's a big one. That's a big one, because not enough GPs, I don't think, or not enough people in the medical industry take bloods. I know they're trying to change it nowadays, I really do. So any GPs that might be watching this, please forgive me, but you're not all the same. You know, my GP, she was amazing. She, you know, she knew straight away. The GPs I'd seen before, you know, they were a bit, oh, you'll be okay, here's a prescription for. And that's not how we conquer this. So listen, I've rabbited on too much again, but the signs of cancer, you know, what are the signs of cancer? The signs of cancer, what are the signs of cancer? It's all whatever isn't normal. For me, there was a lot of things that weren't normal. I didn't take it all on board. If you've got something that's not normal, a lump, an itch, a swelling, a pain, something that's not supposed to be there or something that's not normally there, get it checked out straight away. Now listen, like and subscribe to my channel. I'm getting a lot more comments now. I'm really enjoying it. I like going to different places. And you know, like and subscribe, share it and spread the love. Right guys, peace, see you soon.